The NHS Green Beas project is exploring ways to mainstream sustainability into everyday clinical practice. I'm Tamsyn Cowden and I'm a community staff nurse in Powys, where I've been for 9 years. I absolutely love my job. I love the patients and I love being in the stunning farming countryside. So why did I feel I wanted to leave my job? Well, what I struggle with is the harm that I'm doing. Every time I drive, I contribute to climate change, which is causing farmers in other parts of the world to leave their farms due to floods or drought. Every time I drive, I'm contributing to increasing the risk of flooding of Welsh homes. Every time I drive, I'm contributing to a rise in temperatures, which, as every district nurse knows, results in a rise in urine infections, then more antibiotics, contributing to antibiotic resistance. Apart from car emissions contributing to climate change, we were producing a sea of plastic waste from our dressings, wasting energy from machines being left on, throwing away out-of-date stock, and then came COVID with its huge increase of single-use PPE and disinfectant wipes. The issues seemed insurmountable. Then 2 things happened. These photographs were put up on our trust announcements as examples of flowers and insects seen outside Llanrindod Hospital. The grass hadn't been mown due to the pandemic and was now being deliberately left to allow wildflowers and grasses to grow up and become a haven for bees and other insects. These photos gave me inspiration that the NHS could be part of a positive change. At about the same time, I saw the advert for the Bevan Exemplars project asking specifically for projects relating to COVID or climate smart working. It just hit me between the eyes and I knew I had to reply. So NHS Green Beas was born. It aimed to cut waste, cut carbon, save money and save bees. 8 teams in Mid-Powys were asked to take part. 6 of those teams completed the project. These were district nurses, midwives, dentists and specialist cardiac nurses. Each person in a team was asked to choose one new action from this selection. The final empty cell enabled adding an action of their choice. Because of the pandemic, I couldn't talk to people in person, so I made a little 5-minute video to explain the project and an action pack detailing each action, which I'll show you briefly now. Each action has a summary of the benefits and gives further information. You won't have time to read them now, but it's just to give you an idea of what people were given. So, the first action is to reduce car miles. Next is resetting monitor brightness to 70%, which reduces energy use by 20% and also reduces eye strain. Changing to recycled paper is one of those easy wins. It not only saves wood, energy, water and carbon, but it's also cheaper as well. Creating a bee-friendly patch like the area of grass outside Llanrindod Hospital, or just planting up a small pot outside an office. Switching to fair trade tea and coffee supports producers to adapt to climate change and also reduce their own carbon emissions. Switching to a reusable bottle and remembering to take it everywhere with you. To reduce the amount of wasted stock, write a big expiry date on stock boxes and encourage the use of Hilditch, a company who auction out-of-date stock, which provides income for the trust and reduces landfill. Turn off photocopiers and computers at night. And recycle 1 extra item. Our team chose to recycle crisp packets through the TerraCycle scheme, and all money made goes to a farmer's mental health charity. Just as an aside, that's my team leader who's standing next to a display which I put up in our public waiting area to share the actions our team is taking. So, assessing the project, areas of minimal impact, no teams changed to fair trade products, and really sadly there was minimal mileage reduction. Areas that did improve, people started turning off computers and photocopiers more, they reduced their screen brightness, used more reusable water bottles, 4 teams switched to recycled paper, and there was 1 new team-specific action where they changed to less wasteful dressing packs, and bee-friendly areas were started. The actual calculations for the results were done by Professor Rich from Swansea University. He calculates that if everyone continues their actions for a year, we'll have saved hundreds of plastic bottles, cut waste, cut 260 kilos of carbon, saved £700 and created 4 bee-friendly areas. Professor Rich also helped produce a certificate for all participating teams. This gave the collective results for all the teams and will hopefully encourage further actions. So we did have some success, but the difficulties were, as always, lack of time, and staff didn't really see the project as a priority. This meant that many didn't read the action pack or watch the video, so they didn't fully engage. Also, I had to keep nagging some teams to start the project and then nag them at the end to send me their data, so it wasn't conducive to engaging staff with the issues. So I decided not to roll this out further, and instead I used all that I'd learned through the Bevan programme to launch a phase 2. I'd learnt the importance of engaging those with enthusiasm and those with influence. So I did 2 things. I started an NHS Green Beas staff group, which now has 15 enthusiastic members, and I engaged with influential staff, such as our sustainability manager and chief executive. The group is working closely with the sustainability team on a number of small projects, including getting recycled paper as the only option for the health board, increasing bee-friendly areas, researching alternative sandwich wrapping, that by the way is a whole project in itself, helping ensure a new heating system as individual room controls, and lots of other things like trying to promote the electric vehicle rollout programme. As well as the practical actions, the group has wider impacts. It's empowering staff to feel that we can all make a difference. And we're also influencing others, such as the catering manager who's now starting meat-free Mondays, both for the health benefits and for the carbon reduction benefits. The second phase of part 2, working with people of influence. When I asked our sustainability manager the one thing he thought would make a difference to sustainability in the trust, he said engagement of the executives. So I got approval of the chief executive and organised Cynnal Cymru to deliver carbon literacy training. Disappointingly, the offer of training was not widely taken up, so it's now been deferred to later in the year. And this time the trainer will be involved in sending out strong communications prior to the training to get people on board. I've also emailed the chief executive to ask if she might be able to attend herself as well. So, being involved with the Exemplar project has also connected me with other things, other groups, other people. The Green Health Wales initiative, which is being launched on the 29th of June by a really inspiring group of NHS staff, including a past Bevan Exemplar. NHS Green Beas will be mentioned as one of the pockets of green actions which are springing up now all over the Welsh NHS. My Bevan experience, the challenges. This photo depicts what I felt like on day 1 and still feel like today when I compare myself to my fellow exemplars. There has been a lot of frustration as well. Really, because I feel so passionately that the changes we need to make will give us all a happier, healthier and more equitable world, I just can't understand why others don't have the same urgency as me. IT, I am atrocious at it. And social media, I am afraid I never did crack it. Apologies, Bevan Commission. I frequently feel like I'm failing, but the Bevan programme has taught me that's okay. I just have to pick myself up, connect with others, and then try again. My new motto is, if it was easy, everyone would be doing it. Alongside the challenges was also joy. The lectures we had were really inspiring, and the exercises, they often seem so simple, yet they just work like magic, getting to the core of all the issues I had to deal with. Although I felt the other exemplars were out of my league, they were still incredibly encouraging and said I'd made them think about sustainability within their own projects as well. The Bevan staff were extremely supportive whenever I asked for help, thank you. And contact with other similar-minded NHS staff has made me feel I'm not alone and meant that I'm staying in my job to keep working for change. I'd like to finish with a quote. The health of ecosystems on which we and all other species depend is deteriorating more rapidly than ever. We are eroding the very foundations of our economies, livelihoods, food security, health, and quality of life worldwide. It is not too late to make a difference, but only if we start now, at every level, from local to global. Thank you.